Good afternoon. Here is the world at noon. I am Temitokbe Olajuwola. In Nigeria, reps invite Ngige others over face-off with ASU. Zimbabwean woman dies of neglect at a South African hospital. Referendum voting begins in Russia-held regions of Ukraine. China rescues missing earthquake survivor. Speaker House of Representatives Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila has invited the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, to appear before the lawmakers over the ongoing face-off with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, next Thursday. This was as the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, reiterated that the Integrated Payroll Personnel Information System, the University Transparency Accountability Solution, and the University Peculiar Personnel and Payroll System failed its integrity test regarding the university payroll, which the agency conducted between March and June. Also invited were the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Director General Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, and the Director General Budget Office, among others. The Speaker invited them last night at a resumed meeting aimed at resolving the ongoing strike embarked upon by ASU. Honorable Gbajabiamila and the Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris Wase and other leaders of the House yesterday met with the Head of Service of the Federation, Mrs. Folashade Yemieson, the Chairman of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Mr. Ekpo Nta, among other government officials. A Zimbabwean woman is said to have died at Krugersdorp Hospital due to bleeding after giving birth, allegedly after being neglected by health caregivers at the institution. Reports hazard that a 21-year-old Luyanda Moyo, a Zimbabwean immigrant who visited South African medical centers to give birth, but was allegedly met with poor treatment and lack of attention because of her nationality. Moyo gave birth at the Yusuf Dadu Hospital in Krugersdorp to a baby weighing 4 kilograms. Despite complaining of pain and excessive bleeding, she alleged that the medics in the maternity ward did not pay attention to her. Luyanda's uncle, Gibson Tusma, told newsmen that she was so neglected to the point of being the last patient in the ward. According to the report, nurses found Luyanda dead hours after giving birth. A family is calling for an investigation into her death. A court in the Philippine capital, Manila, has dismissed a Department of Justice petition seeking to declare the Communist Party of the Philippines and its armed wing as terrorist groups. In a recent ruling, Manila Region Trial Court Judge Malu Magdoza argued that the CPP and its armed wing, the New People's Army, did not fulfill the criteria necessary to make such a decision. Among the several lines of reasoning advanced in the ruling, one was that the groups were engaged in a rebellion rather than terrorism. Another was that the use of violence was their means rather than their end. The CPP-MPA has been waging an armed struggle against the central government since 1969. The move is a setback for the DOJ, which filed the petition in 2018. If approved, it would have been granted additional powers to rifle through the bank accounts of members and leaders of the CPP-MPA. This is the World at Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West, Nigeria. Now a mid-news message. Democracy can only thrive in the atmosphere devoid of rancor, acrimony, and the rule of law. Be law-abiding. Voting has begun in Moscow-held regions in Ukraine in a referendum to join Russia and together make up about 15% of Ukrainian territory. The next day, Russia President Vladimir Putin announced a military draft expected to deliver 300,000 troops after losing ground to Ukrainian forces. The ballot will run until Tuesday next week, and the result is expected to win Moscow's favor. That would give the Kremlin pretext to claim Ukraine's attempts to recapture occupied territories are an attack on Russia. Ministry of Economic Development of Tajikistan and Kuwait have signed several agreements on bilateral cooperation during the third session of the Tajikistan-Kuwait Intergovernmental Commission held this week. A memorandum of understanding between the Tajik-Kuwaiti aviation authorities to resume regular flights between the capitals of the two countries was signed. Also signed was protocol on the introduction of amendments and additions to the agreement on the prevention of double taxation between Tajikistan and Kuwait. Moreover, at the end of the meeting, the protocol on economic, trade, scientific and technical cooperation between the two countries was also signed. A man who was missing for 17 days after an earthquake in southwestern China's Sichuan province has been found alive. Report has it that Gan Yu, a 28-year-old hydropower station employee, had stayed behind with his colleague Luo Yong after the magnitude 6.8 earthquake hit Sichuan early this month. The quake killed 93 people and injured hundreds. Gan administered first aid for his colleagues and helped prevent flooding by releasing water from the dam, according to the state-owned China National Radio. Both Gan and Luo then stayed in the station for over a day without food or mobile signal. Information has it that the duo attempted to leave on September 7, walking more than 12 miles, but Gan, who is short-sighted, had lost his glasses and was having difficulties navigating the mountainous terrain. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. In Nigeria, Speaker House of Representatives Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila has invited the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, to appear before the lawmakers over the ongoing face-off with the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU next Thursday. A Zimbabwean woman is said to have died at Krugersdorp Hospital due to bleeding after giving birth, allegedly after being neglected by healthcare givers at the institutions. Voting has begun in Moscow-held regions in Ukraine in a referendum to join Russia, a move widely considered to be a precursor to illegal annexation. A man was missing for 17 days after an earthquake in southwestern China's Sichuan provinces has been found alive. That was the word at noon, edited by Temitokwe Olajuwola. News Talk by guest writer Aduade Amo